Naturopathic Dr. Samia McCully here. I want to give you something to think about today, something that keeps coming up with my patients, and something that I have learned to not let people omit when we're in a healing process. Something that I have realized over the years, and now I will say this is non-negotiable. If you have a health issue, maybe not a broken bone, but if you have some kind of health issue, if you have pain, there is always an emotional trigger for this. If there's unresolved emotion or trauma, these unresolved emotions and traumas live somewhere in the body and they cause a problem. When they're resolved, the problem goes away. I'm going to give you an example from a personal example. So, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago, I had some family members, I won't mention who, I had some family members visiting for the holidays. And pretty quickly, maybe within a day, I had a hard time turning my head. Like I couldn't turn it past here. I had a very stiff neck. And I was, getting massages and doing all kinds of things to try and resolve it. And these two family members are often a source of frustration for me. And so I consciously knew and bit my tongue often when things were said or things were happening. And then the day that they left, I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning and I had excruciating pain in my neck. And I burst out crying. It was so painful. I cried probably for half an hour. And as soon as I finished crying, I had no issue in my neck. I could fully turn it as if nothing had ever happened. That was the clearest example to me that our emotions affect our physical health. So one thing I will say, when you try and avoid resolving emotions, or when you think that emotions are not connected to your physical health, you may get better physically for a while, but usually there's a relapse. I won't say there's always a relapse, unless there's been some emotional healing that's happened in the meantime. I can give you one other quick example. I had a patient last year who was having horrible panic attacks, and we'd done all the things I could think of without talking about any of the emotional stuff that she had going on. And we reduced the panic attacks. I mean, they were talking like 10 panic attacks a day or 8 panic attacks a day, some of them sending her to the ER, causing her to bolt up right in bed. Horrible. And she stopped going to the ER after a while because she realized that they were just going to tell her to go home anyway. So we did all these things for about four months. And then I asked her some questions. We delved into the 2 big traumas that she'd had growing up. And after that conversation, she had 1 more panic attack. And I haven't seen her in a few months, but it's been about a year. And, up until maybe 2 months ago, I know that she never had another panic attack. So that was a really clear example for me too. So if you have something that's not getting better and you're only trying to address the physical side of it, you might want to think about addressing things that have happened to you that still trigger you when they get brought up. Hope that was helpful. Until next time, Naturopathic Dr. Samia McCully.